Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. First trading day of the year. 9 a.m. EST, 2nd of January. Feels a little bit weird to say that. And let's have a look what we can get today. So hopefully you all had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's. We are back today just for one day before the weekend and properly back next week, but we'll show our face today and see what we can get. Now, there's only really, I want to say there's only really one setup I'm looking at today. But there's kind of two, but I'm going to lead with the one that I first spoke about in the trading room this morning. And then I'm going to follow on with the one that I'm more inclined to take and also have already taken this morning. So the first trade idea that I was looking at was the long. Things have changed since then, but it would be the long. And for that, all I'm looking at is the move off the open and the first traditional that we traded at around 7 o'clock. Straight from that traditional, we went into extensions. And therefore, we've had diamonds and triangles all the way up there. And I was going to bid the 38 at 650s. However, you can now see with my message in the room this morning, I am also now short. And if I just show you here, you can see I'm short on just a couple of accounts. Nothing too crazy. One micro, annoyingly short at the lows, but I'll explain why I'm short, where I'm short, and what I'm expecting. So where was the better entry? And of course, I missed the entry. I wasn't at my desk, but the better entry to have been had was as soon as we stopped true trending, large deviation up. Look at these two large deviations. Whenever we get these, you guys are very aware. I don't have to break this down, that much. We know once we get these large deviations in the trend line, price often likes to rebalance them, right? Just think of like a volume imbalance, right? Price likes to come back down to those areas. And of course, we had an ATR reversal bar down, right? That has pretty much rebalanced, and hopefully we are heading lower. Now, interesting, look at the exact area of the current high on the overnight. Triangle momentum down, trades the full halfway back. I mean, it is almost textbook, okay? True trend stops, triangle momentum down, halfway back, ATR reversal down, full negative 100 completion inside the hourly low. Okay? Same anchor new low trades. And we are currently inside the 38 short. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is probably going to be the 12th time. So I am currently short and I don't mind. I probably won't add just because of how many accounts am I short? Like, including Apex, I'm probably at that 25% mark. But I'm kind of disregarding Apex just based on the fact of what's been happening over the last week with those. They're at payout, but I'm just sort of trying to forget about those accounts. Still trading them, but just not incorporating them in the same sort of, I want to say risk, but I am still using good risk, but at the same time, I'm trying not to think about them, if that makes sense. So I'm not getting, messed up with the psychological tactics that have been thrown my way. But in short, we are looking for, or I am at least looking for downside movement, and I want to see this same anchor new low trade, ideally this negative 100 trades, and I think once this does trade, this is going to give you the next low to low draw, which is probably going to line up with something on these lows. Probably, in fact, let's draw this properly, probably here, right? And that's why I have that marked out. When this does, if and when this does go through the overnight mid and the ETH dynamic trend line, at that point, you're probably going to go into another extension. And that's probably going to line up with around 580s. And that full negative 100 will be pretty much coming back down to the RTH low. Now, that's of course if the shorts play out. If we just continue higher and higher and higher, I have no trade idea to the long side. There is nothing that I'm looking at. We are very close. We came about, 10, 15 points away from the ETH high, maybe even less. Let's have a look. About 15 points away from the ETH high. Now, I know on average the ETH high trades around 15 to 20% of the time, so, you know, only probably one session a week. So I would say it's unlikely for it to trade, but the fact we came so close, i.e. 15 points, you have to ask yourself, does that level trade? It's within the range for the next hour. Okay, so it is in range for the next hour to trade, but I am going to stick to my bias, and I'd rather know that 80% of the time that ETH high isn't going to trade, regardless of how high we've come to it. I'm going to have the same bias, the same mindset of the short trade, which is the triangle momentum down, the deviation on the true trend, the stop of the true trend, the ATR reversal down, the triangle momentum down, and the short sequences that we currently have. So that's what I'm going to base today's session on. If these extensions don't trade, i.e. we don't sell off, then I guess there's no trade because the short extensions won't trade, so therefore orders won't get triggered. But the shorts that I'm in currently, I will keep in and I will risk the 4-hour high, which is about 80 points for me. That's all I really have, and I'm going to be targeting, like, you know, anywhere down to yesterday's mid or even yesterday's low. So the risk here is about, you know, a 2-hour trade, even more, 2.3, 2.4 hour trade. Other than that, I really don't have anything to the long side. I was eyeing up the high to high from the overnight extension, but I'm not anymore, just based on the fact of the true trend stopping and the ATR reversal bar down and everything else I've covered. So I do appreciate we've got diamonds on the lows, but we are still inside this true trend. So I'm not bullish. I would rather be short biased here. If anything changes, we'll go live in the room, and obviously we'll always switch up if we need to. But I do feel quite strongly that this is probably going to be a good sell day. But of course, we have to wait for that to show itself, right? So happy to take a starter position, but if we do really start to sell off, these are going to be your extensions. Probably 650s, and then most likely 580s. And then you've got targets down here for 460s. So that's pretty much the bias. And that would be a, you know, failure of ETH low, failure of ETH high, look above and fail. And then that could even be a move right back down to the ETH low. So again, these trade ideas are so good because you don't have to worry about them trading. You can let them trade and then follow the move, as opposed to just anticipating them. Let this show you, then bid those extensions. So hopefully that makes sense. And at that point in time, you're going to have, just like you have now, you're going to have the true trend in your favor. You're going to have the triangle momentum down in your favor. So let the indicators show the way, and then literally just follow the downstream, okay? And of course, if it changes and we start to gravitate upwards, you don't take those shorts because those levels haven't been triggered. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. I will be back live on YouTube tomorrow. If there's any questions, please let me know. We uploaded the end of year 2025 video yesterday. $247,000 was made in 2025, which is just phenomenal. So hopefully you've all watched that video. I think most of you have. And yeah, looking forward to another year. And we are going to surpass last year's by at least 200 to 300%, I think. Okay, with that being said, guys, we'll move over to going live on Whoop in the trading room. And I will see everyone on YouTube tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST.